Okay, Ingram. Today started the first day of the Mount Airy Cricket School that you organized. Tell me about some of the preparation that went into organizing it.
Well, it's a little different to what you have when you're in England. In England, or even the United States, where you send an email to an organisation, whether it be the government or the local council, you'd send them information. They then send it round to their various sports clubs and organisations. That was never going to happen because I've sent various emails in the past. In fact, I've sent one email to the government sports organisation, the head for sport in Grenada. Sent it in May, and we are now almost in August, and there's no reply. So you obviously don't go down that route. So what I had to do literally is to get flyers, paper flyers, and then get them put up on poles. That's how a lot of people advertise polls for various dances or events that are happening on the island. They put out boat parties, bingo, you name it. So what I did is basically stick, and then first I stuck it with sellotape. Those got blown away, and then I just got some, or taken down, and then I got some staple guns, stapled the flyers on there. I went via some of the newspapers, online newspapers, and I went through Facebook and through Twitter, and there were people on Twitter that were very nice and very kind enough to retweet the flyer.
Okay, wonderful. So how would you say, I really want to get into the heart of the actual program, but I did want to ask you a couple questions before we get into the meat of it.
Okay.
But how would you say preparing for a cricket school here in Grenada differs from other places that you've been?
Well, this is a very unique experience I've had here in Grenada, in the sense that you have so many kids running around in the area, so many, and it baffles me that not one kid turned up to do the cricket. Not one. Not one. And I don't believe it's the kids. I think the kids want to come. The kids want to be a part of it. But there you go, you've got the parents, and the parents' opinions, and the parents' thoughts, and who's he, why is he coming here, what gives him the right to be charging $30 to be doing a coaching session, what's he about, and rather than allow their kids to take part of it, they'd rather hold the kids back and tell the kids, oh no, we're not going to be attending that. And that to me just tells you where we're at. So many pastures, so many fields, and so many kids that play cricket, but they do win ball cricket, which is fine, which is once a year they do win ball cricket, and you get loads of kids set up to that. But win ball cricket is not professional. It's not going to encourage any young person to move on and play professional cricket. Yeah, some kids may go through and do that, but it's about swinging about and throwing the ball, not bowling the ball, throwing the ball. And so it's very easy to get into bad habits with win ball cricket. And so if you really want, I know a lot of the West Indian players have played win ball cricket, but at one point in time they would have said, you know what, I enjoy my win ball cricket, but I really want to become professional. And so that's a whole different ball game altogether. So when you see that, when you hear of that, and then you come into a community and you have these skills, you think you offer your services. And so that's why I decided to offer my services. And I could have done it for free. I could have done a voluntary program. But you see, the problem is, here, if you do a voluntary program to start with, they'll always expect you to do a voluntary program. And so people don't volunteer their shops, people don't volunteer their services as a doctor or a dentist or whatever, or teacher as such. You'll volunteer your services. And so that's why I decided to charge at $30, which is a very small amount, indeed. And so even if somebody came and said, look, I can't pay for 30, I'll pay 20, I would have accepted that. It's just the principle of them paying for the service.
Okay, so you've been here in Grenada for actually a little over a year.
Yes. And
you talk about volunteering. Have you ever volunteered your services?
Absolutely. When I first came to Grenada, I would travel it's a place called Gove. I would travel about an hour every Wednesday. Every Wednesday and Friday, I would travel to Gove, take money out of my own back pocket, pay to get on the bus, go there, run the coaching sessions, and come back. So I'd leave my house at about 1:30. I'd get there just before 3 o'clock. I'd be there till about 6, 6:30, and then get back on the bus. Be back on about 8 o'clock in the evening, walking home in the dark. And sometimes 7:30, I'd be coming back. So yeah, I did that for a few months, and I've got, obviously I've done videos on that as well. So yeah.
Okay, have you done any other volunteer work since you've been in Grenada?
Yeah, I started doing some volunteer work for the cricket program, or the kiddies cricket program, with Grenada Cricket Board. Their program is sponsored by Digicel. It's Scotiabank. It's sort of a national program that's run for grassroots kids. I think get kids at age 12 to maybe about 12 to 16, something like that, an age group. Yeah. So I was actually targeting the kids that were like from 6 to 11 years old, the group of kids that were not currently being targeted. So, and I know, because I actually also volunteered working in a school up the road, St Paul's School. I went in there and I volunteered, did over a month of coaching there, but again, it's not just about going into school and teaching them how to bowl a ball or bat a ball. It's a lot more about social principles and behaviour and discipline, which is so important. You cannot coach a session of the kids every time they're coming out. They're rowdy, they won't listen. Some kids want to turn up. The mentality is so different here. In England, you can't just turn up to school and then you say, I'm not taking part in this lesson, and just walk out of the class. Can't do that. It's madness. You've got kids here that say, I'm not taking part. Just sit out. I'm not taking part. They're making decisions like they're adults. They're telling the teachers what lessons they're taking part in, what lessons they're not taking part in. Don't get me wrong, some of these kids get a good beating, they get nice cane on their backsides. But is that the way forward? I don't know. It's not for me to make a judgment of that one way or the other.
Okay, so you showed up to your cricket session the first day of school today.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me, what did you see?
Yes, well, I turned up and registration's between 9 and 10 o'clock. And I was greeted by a group of individuals. Were they kids? No. Were they parents? No. They were a group of, for want of a better word, gardeners. They'd come to cut the pitch. So they cut the whole area of the grass area at 9 o'clock in the morning. Bang on when registration's on, these people just turn up out of nowhere and start cutting the grass. Now for me, I'm complimented that they've gone and done that, but the whole week there's been no grass cutting. That place has been high for so long. The minute I decide to run a cricket session, advertise it, post it out there, suddenly there's somebody out there to cut the grass. Interesting, there's 4 or 5 of them cutting grass.
So were they there when you got there, or?
Absolutely not. They just arrived suddenly.
So what time did they come?
9 o'clock, like I said, 9 a.m. in the morning, right during registration time.
Wow, so right when you were actually supposed to start your cricket session,
Yes.
your program, they showed up. So what does your gut tell you?
Well, the island continues to amaze me with the false promises, with the lies, deceit, underhanded, backbiting behaviour. But I think that it's a mentality of people that, to be honest, are not going anywhere. Really, it's honest, they're not going anywhere in life. Because if you will even undercut somebody who's got good intentions, I'm not being arrogant when I say this, but $30 works out as, I don't know, how much is $30, would you say?
$30
in English money.
in British pounds would be somewhere around maybe £8.
So £8. Now, come on. Me running an £8 cricket session for a week, coaches for a week from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the afternoon, right? Now in England, I'd be charging £50 for a week. So just work that out a second. So I'm not in it for money. So these guys, like I said, have come along and cut the grass as they do. And it's not the first time this nonsense has happened. At a community centre that was thriving with lots of young people in there, So what they do now, the young people are no longer in the centre, remove the people that bring the young people in, and so that centre's there, empty, not doing anything in it. They have a community centre up the road. Same scenario. You know, centres, the mentality here is we have to have control. People have titles and control, but don't know what to do with that control. So they'll have a centre closed, nobody using it, and then tell you that you need to put a proposal forward for them to say, no, we don't want that. But yet they're not doing nothing in the community. Right? This is happening. Well, this is the village. I don't know about other villages, but I say no. This is for this village. So when I hear stories now, people saying, "Oh, yeah, we used to have this. We used to do this years ago. It stopped." It's because somebody stopped it, and there's so much suppression going on. It's suppressing the adults, suppressing the kids. People are fully suppressing these islands. And if you ever try to establish yourself to do something good for yourself, people are trying to stop you and stop me. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm just passing through. But I'm gaining experience and I'm understanding things. Am I angry or bitter? No, not really, not particularly. It doesn't surprise me. You just have to look at the national side to see, you know, where have we gone wrong. Just look at the national side. From a time we were a great side. Now, you can almost say the laughing stock of world cricket. Win the odd game here or there, with the odd trophy that they're inconsistent batting, inconsistent bowling, inconsistent fielding, lack of discipline, lack of pride, all the things that come from suppression and all the sort of tricks and politics that go on. So it happens at grassroots level and it happens at national level. But good luck to them. Good luck to whoever wants to do what they're doing. It's fine. Doesn't really impact my life because, hey, I've done a lot in cricket. I think I've achieved a lot, despite all the politics. So yeah.
So, based on your experience as a professional coach and a cricket development officer and someone who has worked to help create champions not just on the field but off the field, what are some of the programs that you believe Mount Airy, which is the area we're referring to, would benefit with all the children running around just really idle, not doing much?
All right, let me say, right? In town, there's a program that's run every week, every Saturday, during the school term for the young people. Okay, it's for 12 to 16. That's the Saturday program, 9 till 12. The kiddies cricket, sponsored by the Digicel and Scotiabank. Digicel run the program. They're the big organisation, and the Scotiabank sponsors it. Kids can turn up, learn the batting, bowling, fielding, and get bun and cheese, or what you could call it, and a little drink afterwards. That's what happens. Now, Mount Airy, not just the Mount Airy, if you look at the Cricket Doctor, the video I did, all those areas there could be having a program similar to that in the village. You know, Mount Airy here, I would run a program like once a week, or start once a week on a Saturday morning, get all those kids together and start doing cricket programs for them. Then from that, try to expand it to 2 or 3 times a week, getting those kids together, teaching them the fundamental basis of cricket, building that up and getting the parents together, getting them involved, and actually develop a cricket club with some form of structure with it. If there's no structure, people do whatever they want. And if there's structure, nobody has no vision of where they're going. So one person's pulling this way, another person's pulling that way. So then how can you have any vision, harmony, or move forward successfully with no plan, no business plan? And that's another thing with the island. A lot of people will come to the island who have money, and they get treated in a similar way to how I've got treated. And they'll look from far off and say, I'm not doing business with this island, I'm not doing business, and walk away. And they say, oh, we're poor, we haven't got money. No, it's not that you haven't got money. It's like there are opportunities for you to get money, but you're not using that money, or you're not using those opportunities, and you're mistreating and mishandling people. They're mishandling people. They're mishandling people. Even the people in positions of power are mishandling, and they don't understand who they're mishandling. So, go on, crack on, keep doing what you're doing, crack on, because, people see what's going on, people see through it all.
So, I know this discussion can go really deep.
Yeah, let it go deep, I don't care.
And, one of the things I'm curious, you hit on it a little bit in the beginning of the interview, But you said that no children showed up, and then a group of men came to cut the pitch dead bang in the middle of when you were to start your session.
Yes.
What do you think the real reason that the children did not show up?
Oh, look, I've got kids playing cricket right outside my door. All right, outside my door. I could say, "Come on, kids, let's go up and do a cricket session." I could do that. But then, where's my value in all this? And there is value. Value is important. Self-value is important. Because if you do it now, and they expect you all the time to do it for free. So the kids knew about it. But it's a community. It's a close-knit community. And so with close-knit communities, people say what they say and do what they do. And parents are very powerful. They're very powerful in what they say to their kids. So one kid came up to me actually this morning as I was walking up and says, "Do you got any cricket balls?" I looked at him. "Not, good morning sir, how are you? What's going on? What are you doing today?" Fully well knowing there's a cricket program today. So everyone in the area knows there's a cricket program. Nobody comes out to support it. You see, and the mentality they have is that, "Oh, you're not coming out to support the program. It's going to hurt me." Mate, it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't hurt me because there are other areas in the island that want me and want me to do coaching there. But, I don't. If their kids don't want to learn, it's up to them. It's up to them at the end of the day. Their issues, not mine.
Now, one of the things I have noticed is I've watched you, you talk about children right outside your door. I've seen some young boys and little girls out there playing cricket, and I've seen you actually go out there and actually give them some lessons with, volunteer some of the information and skills that you have.
I'm not a money-hungry individual, and if I was a money-hungry individual, I would not be in Grenada. That is for sure. That's for sure.
Yeah. So where do you go from here? This cricket school was scheduled for all week. Do you go back up there again in the morning to see perhaps maybe if someone missed the first day, to see if they'll come between 9 and 10 tomorrow? Where do you go from here? What's your thoughts?
They've got my number. If they want to contact me, they contact me. But I'm not desperate to run the program. I'm not desperate to run the program. I'm well aware of what I'm dealing with. So when you're well aware of what you're dealing with and the mentality of the people you're dealing with, you can't expect no more. You can't expect no more. It's like expecting a baby to jump. And a baby doesn't know how to jump. And you're expecting, waiting for the baby to jump. Well, you're not jumping. It's a process of time. So, and they may never jump. So am I going to wait? Am I going to... There are two types of people in the world. There are people that allow the world to affect them, or there are people that affect the world. I'm one of the people that affect the world, and so therefore, from the world that I'm in. And so therefore, am I going to make this define my journey? Hell no. Hell no. Jesus said, and I have to quote the great man, Jesus said, even if you're not a religious individual, spiritual individual, even if you've got common sense, Jesus says, come to a town and they do not welcome you, wipe the dust off your feet and keep it moving.
Wow. Okay, so is there anything else you want to say about the situation? I know there's a lot that we can talk about. You talked about the flyers blowing down, or you posted flyers in the area and actually went back to repost the flyers in the area. Just from your heart, really honestly, what do you think the real problem is?
Look, you know what? It could just be this area. It could just be this area. There are a lot of successful people. I'll tell you, there's a fact. A lot of successful people have lived in St. Paul's, but no longer live in St. Paul's. So, take from that what you think, and what you make of it. Like I said, I'm just passing through. So, this will not be my stopping ground for sure. Passing through. When I was 14, I said to myself that I wanted to come to the Caribbean, and I would spend my years building a portfolio to come to the Caribbean. And many people that watch my videos on YouTube see a lot of my boxing videos, and they're probably asking, and they know I do cricket, and they say, "You're not doing much of cricket anymore." Well, these are the reasons why. These are the reasons why. Because I'm a foreigner, a black man in a predominantly black island, right? And I'm a foreigner because I speak the Queen's English. What do you want me to do for that? Change my accent? And because of that, we don't want you coming here and taking our jobs. Some of the people who have got in the positions are not even qualified. So think what you want of that. And it's not like I even volunteered. They asked me to put my qualifications on the table. I put my qualifications on the table. They don't contact me. But then it's not just me. There are people on the island who are well qualified, overqualified, you'd say, and still not getting opportunities. So, what can I say? I can say I've done my best with the circumstances I've been given. I'm not going to let it deter me, but just got to take a different course of action. And so, but I can tell you something now. My journey in cricket has not been an easy one. It certainly hasn't. There's been blockage and people trying to stop you and swerve you and do all the things. Since I started this sport in the UK, being one of very few black men to coach cricket in England. That's a fact. I don't care what anybody tells me, it's a fact. And to set up programs, to run programs and get, over 250, 300 kids to one festival, right? Where even in that particular area, their own cricket development officer, the cricket development officer couldn't do that. You can only get a handful of kids to turn to a festival. So for me, to do things like that, to win trophies, to go to Australia to do things, I must be good at what I do. And so, if I wasn't good at what I did, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think I'd be getting half the blockages I get. So, I do make this point about the black coach, because if you look in the UK at the moment, and you look at what's going on with the current England side, it's pretty, what I'm saying, it's sort of like parallel with the England side. There isn't a black face at the moment, yet I know there are a lot of black cricketers. Where have they all gone? So that's another conversation to have, but I tell you what, for all I put into cricket, I do feel sort of resented, hated, despised, neglected, whatever. But the thing is, cricket's not all that I do, which is great. Bayloric worldwide, the TV and the journalistic side of things, it's fantastic because it gives me the opportunity to produce my own news, and there's lots of great things happening.
So if you were able to leave the people with the word from your experiences here in Grenada, your experience in working to build community and to help people, you know what, before I ask you that question, I'm sorry, I want to go back and ask you another question. I want to end on that question, because you talked about the village here, where you have been focusing on doing your work this time. You mentioned Guave, you mentioned
I want to add to this.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something, and I don't care what people think. If I had blonde hair, blue eyes, and was white, or Asian, Chinese, if I was anything but black, I would have been open. I would have been given with open hands. I've been taken in with open hands. That's a fact. That's a fact. The island, and people on the island say it themselves, it's a fact. We have still got a mentality here that we don't like our own people. We really do have a lot of self-hate. We do, and that's a problem. And forget, this is not to do. This has got nothing to do with cricket. Cricket is just the deeper issue is loving one another, loving ourselves, and understanding and appreciating the talent that we all bring to the table. Forget about you're from the US and you're from the UK. And at the end of the day, if the KKK was going to come, they'd come from me and a fellow Grenadian. They wouldn't say, "Oh, well, you're from the UK. I'll spare you. But you're a Grenadian. I'm going to go for you," or vice versa. You can say, "You're black. I'm coming for you," and that's it. And that's what it is. And before I come along with my cricket or my boxing or my journalism, the people need to help themselves. They have a sickness here, a serious sickness, and that's from the top working its way down. That's what it is. You may have some good people at the top, but very few people at the top that are good. Unfortunately, the middle ground or middle management is where the problem is. They block a lot of the messages getting to the top. They block a lot of things going forward. And a lot of these people in all these positions of organisations block. They block, they block, they block. Because they don't like change. Change means that they have to step up their game. Change means that they have to question what they're doing in the first place. Change means that when they're taking money off the table, they have to say to themselves, do I really deserve this money? When you've got nobody challenging that, or questioning you taking money off the table, or having the authority to question what you're doing, your intentions, your work that you're doing, then nobody's questioning that. You can keep on taking your money and making a living from it. But when somebody's now coming along and saying, you know what, I'd like to put this on the table, and genuinely like to do that, if you really want sports, if you really want to develop sports, why would you block somebody who wants to come in and help you develop sports and offer their services to you at cut price? Listen, this is not about, these may have titles, these people may have titles, but really, deep down, ask yourself the question, what are they doing? And ask them, if you're a development officer, for example, I know people are watching my video, if you're a development officer, what exactly are you developing? What exactly are you developing? Across the island, there are no clubs. The same thing happens year in, year out. There's no programs in schools. You're waiting for the West Indian Cricket Board to develop a program. Why? You yourself can't set up a basic program, a basic batting, bowling, fielding program. I could get that done. I could put that down in 2 hours. That was part of me getting qualified to become a coach in the first place. Put it down, get it photocopied, send it around the schools, get your coaches you've got, and get them to go into schools. Start video recording stuff you're doing. Are you going to do that? No, you're not going to do that, because that's now making you a bit inconvenient. You know, that's substance I'm talking about there. But it's too much show on the island, too much show, too much talk, too much show. Action. And the action is having a knock-on effect on all the other kids. So where you may have kids that may get through to play Windward cricket, they may get Windward cricket. When you're going to play national cricket and play for the West Indies and stay there in the West Indies, you're not going to have it. You're not going to have the durability or the stamina. Karani James, the great Karani James at Grenada, jump up and down all about. Karani James did get no support from this island, no support whatsoever. Picked himself up, got supported by a few people. Got him on a plane out to America. Got him out in a plane to America. Right? He's doing what he's doing in America, and he's staying in America because this island can't give him anything. That's a fact. That's a fact. Some people might say, Karani's forgotten his. No, not really. He worked hard, was good at what he did, and took his trade elsewhere. And that's what most people on the island will do. They'll take their trade and they'll leave the island. Loads of people leave the island. So the island will not progress. It cannot progress because the people's mentality won't change. So you have foreigners coming in, doing what they've got to do, setting their businesses, making their money, and the people on the island who could be changing the mentality and growing things to make money and stuff, they're not going to do that. So the foreigners come in and make the money and do what they've got to do. So things haven't changed. That's just the way it is. And then they expect one man to come along and make all these changes, but they don't want them to change themselves. And this is an island that's got so many churches in it. So many churches. And you wouldn't believe that some of these people that are in these positions of power are regular churchgoers and talking God, 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 God. But what sort of God would allow these young people and allow these situations to happen? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Wow, that is certainly a testimony and certainly a story. It's interesting you brought up the Karani James situation because I was going to ask you about that.
And it's not, I'm not talking off the top of my tongue or just. I've interviewed somebody very closely connected to Karani James. You go back and look at my videos. I did an interview, and they themselves said exactly what happened. That they had no support from the government. So this is a fact. This ain't no fiction. This ain't no I'm making up. Exactly what it is.
Now, it's interesting because some of the people that I've talked to as well, and some of the people that we've interfaced in different organizations and so forth, they really say the same thing that you say, is that people who are very progressive and doing well, whether they're Grenadian or not, but let's stick to the Grenadians, those people who are from Grenada, who rise to the top and really begin to be a consequential force, they actually get suppressed, or they don't get the support that you would anticipate their own people will support them, and so it kind of forces them to actually leave their own home to take their gift and their trade somewhere else.
Absolutely. And then when they come back to the island, they're all jumping up and down. It's all false, all fake.
Wow.
Why are you jumping up and down like Karani James? And you get all Then when he comes back to the island, they all want to give him a nice house and make him an ambassador. So what? You mistreat somebody and then you make him an ambassador and say, because you can make money off of it and it makes you look good. Told you, no substance. People's intentions not right. And they say the government's got no money. But wait, they've not got no money, but somehow they can give the man a house and give him this and give him that. Where'd that money come from? Odd.
Wow. So, in light of everything that's going on, I've seen the flyers for the program. It's a wonderful program. I've seen some of your work, and really have seen the impact that you've made, not just in Grenada, but in many communities across the globe. So, in terms of, would you say that Grenada is one of the hardest nuts to crack?
It's not a nut I'm trying to crack. It's not a nut I'm trying to crack. Wisdom, as you get older, you become wise. And you just look and see that this isn't about you crack. Listen, you can't help anybody if they can't help themselves. And
Or do you mean that you can't help someone that's not willing to help themselves?
look, I don't care if they're willing or they're look, I'm not here for that. It's not my job. And if I was a philanthropist, I have nothing to say that won't be in the future. I would be giving money to people that were helping themselves, showing due diligence, and I would be one that would give money to those who have faced blockage and problems and things from the past. So yeah, that's what I would do if I was a philanthropist. I'm not saying that I'm not, but if I'm in that position, you can swear down that's what I would do.
Wow. So this is a really deep interview. Is there anything else that you would like to add that maybe shed light on this whole issue and maybe?
Well, I would have done this interview. I would have done this video a long time ago, but I didn't feel that then was the right time. A lot of people were asking me, "What have you been doing with cricket?" So you sort of know what's been going on around cricket now. You have an idea what really has been going on. What am I going to do in the future? I'm not sure yet. There's some great things lined up, and like I said, cricket's not the only thing I do. And I've had a good run in cricket. I've had a real good run in cricket, and I said I always wanted to coach cricket in the Caribbean. I've done that. Do I still want to be coaching cricket? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to have a serious think about that. But there's a few things I definitely want to get myself involved with, and now's the time to do that, I think. If I were to close the chapter on cricket now, I could do it, have no regrets, and move on. And if I were to reopen that chapter again, there's only one other thing I want to do in cricket, which was to go to India. That's really it, to be honest. Other than that, I have no more desire for cricket, to be honest. I've seen enough. So, am I giving up? No, I'm not giving up. I just think that there's other avenues I could go down. It's time to get some love in my life.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to end with? What would you tell the people of Grenada who, sometimes, there's a saying, you mentioned what Jesus said earlier, there's a saying that Jesus came into his own and his own accept him not. Taking that principle, what would you say to the people of Grenada as someone who walked through, who had a gift in their hand, willing to give that gift, but the people just rejected the gift and the gift giver?
See, a lack of knowledge. Where there is no vision, the people shall perish. Is an expression. So, when I went back to earlier on and spoke about clubs and structure and vision, so people have got no vision. They've got no vision. They've done things the same way all their life. This could be generations back. This could be going back from parents to grandparents. People talk about the revolution and all the rest of it, but mentality, your intentions. People talk about sun, sea, sand. What a great place you're in. Now you understand what else is going on out here. And I'm not saying the whole of the island's like that. And I suspect that there are people who have gone through similar challenges. I'd love to connect with those people who have gone through the similar challenges that I've gone through, not just in cricket, but in business. It would be great to listen to hear what they've got to say about it. And those sort of people I'd like to network with in the future. And there's always a way around things. With Bay Laureate Worldwide and the journalistic and the TV station we've got, we're going to look to do more work in Grenada. There's a lot more programs going at the moment, exciting things to talk about, and more videos, more interviews, and of course the boxing's great at the moment, sort of interviews doing there, and definitely want to explore that a lot further. So for the people that watch my videos and are boxing fans, stay tuned. I've got some interesting news to give to you soon. But yeah, I just think that there's no reason why I couldn't visit this at a later date. But for now, I think it's time for me to have a re-evaluation as to whether I really want to be doing what I'm doing in Grenada in terms of cricket. And you know, Grenada is not my home. My home is Trinidad. That's not home. That's my home, and so therefore I'm here at the moment. But Trinidad's a different island altogether. Very progressive, and who knows what's out there. So that's where I'm at. Thank you for watching the video. Like I said, feel free to contact me. That's just the way things are. That's the way, like I said, I'm not upset, I'm not hurt, I'm not disappointed, I'm not shocked. It's just the way it is. And you know, they say when one door closes, another door opens. This is a door I've been wanting to shut for ages, and the time has come to shut the door. So I'm looking forward to an interesting future.